of the three teachings from Rabbi Shimon is V'al tehi rasha b'fnei atzmacha. Don't be wicked in your own eyes, in your own regard. This is a problematic statement because in another place, and this is a conundrum which is mentioned in Tanya, we have a statement that even if the entire world says that you're a tzaddik in your own eyes, you shouldn't believe all the flattery, you should see yourself as being a rasha. And over here we're being told, but you shouldn't see yourself as a rasha. So make up your mind. Should you see yourself as a rasha or shouldn't you see yourself as a rasha? Well, somewhere along the line there is a balance. The problem with seeing oneself as a rasha, as an evil person, is that it leads to you become very depressed and you think that you're no good. And as a consequence, you become very lax. Nothing matters all that much. So therefore, you're not going to become a God-fearing person, which is who Rabbi Shimon is. And he's trying to give us strategies for being a God-fearing person. He says, so if you become too depressed in if you become too small in your own eyes, and you think, look, I'm not that religious, I'm not the most religious person in the world. It doesn't matter if I do this, a religious person will do this, but that's not me, I'm not completely shomer Shabbat, so why shouldn't, or completely kasher or whatever. And so you begin to take a view of yourself which leads to lots of leniencies, and you permit yourself to do this, and permit yourself to that, because after all, I'm not such a religious person. On the other hand, to think of yourself as being a tzaddik, being such a righteous person, is you're fooling yourself. And there has to be honesty in this world. You know that you're not such a big tzaddik. So there has to be an element over here where you're truthful, one is truthful with oneself, and one holds to one's own internal standard. And you have integrity. And you say, look, I might not be the biggest tzaddik in the world, but I know I'm also not the biggest rasha. And I do have a standard, and I strive to have a higher standard. And that's what's going to prevent me from doing things which are inappropriate. There are two other nuanced meanings of this statement of Rabbi Shimon, because he says, don't be a rasha ba'atzmacha on your own. And one lovely suggestion is that a person takes a view, as we see very often, is there an English saying, a proverb, street angel, house devil, dimple outside, devil inside. Don't be a rasha on your own. In other words, when you're out in the street, in society, with your friends, in business, and everything else, you're the most wonderful person in the world. You come back home again, and you turn into a beast. You beat your kids, you're nasty to your wife. You're just a horrible person. You take it all out in your home. But outside, you're the nicest, biggest, most beautiful person in the world, generous and everything else. Don't be a rasha b'atzmacha when you're on your own. And there's one more nuanced saying over here is, if you want to be a rasha, don't do it on your own. Do it with your friends. I mean to say, with your chevra, we're all together. So I don't go off on your own and say, I'm going to live a Judaism on my own. Part of a community. Everybody supports everybody else. Nobody's such a big tzaddik. We're all, in a sense, technically speaking, in the most technical sense, we're all in the category of Rashayim. So if you're going to be a Rasha, do it with your chevra. I was once, just out of interest, walking around Bushi. I wanted to see where the rabbis are buried, just kind of like professional interest. I couldn't find anybody, it was a Bushi old, I couldn't find any rabbis who were buried there. So I came home and I said to Linda, you know what? Rabbis don't die. They don't die. I made further inquiries and I discovered that actually they do die, but they are buried in Heichefenster. They have to be buried at Woolsden. So when I discovered that, I said to Lindy, do me a favor, when my time comes after 120 years, please bury me in Bushi. I want to be with my chevra. I've got nothing to talk to with those guys over there. What am I going to speak to them about, all those big tzaddikim? So let me talk to the people. We sinned together, so let's spend our time together. Let's be together with our chevra. If you want to be a Rasha, do it with your chaverim. Let's all be together and have fun together. So out here, Rasha ba'atzmacha. If you want to be a Rasha, I said, don't do it on your own. Do it together with your chevra. Be part of the community. That's where we grow together and enjoy together, and we try together, we strive together. None of us are such big tzaddikim after all. We shouldn't fool ourselves that we are. But are we happy together? Yes. So let's be together. That's the teaching of Rabbi Shimon. Plus a little bit more for inflation. Golda Meir was once visiting an old age home, and she went up to an elderly lady And she said to her in Hebrew, she said, I wish you should live ad mea v'esrim, you should live until 120. And the old lady slapped her across the face. She said, what did I say wrong?